Berawal dari bagian barat Indonesia, kami datang sebagai sahabat, membawa beragam kisah dari sudut pandang setiap daerah untuk menjadi mata lokal menengkau Indonesia.
Hai My Digi Friend, untuk membantu kamu dalam melakukan knowledge management di perusahaan, My Digi Learn hadir dengan memberikan pengalaman baru untuk kamu para knowledge enthusiast. Sekarang, kamu bisa pakai My Digi Learn supaya dapat menjaga critical knowledge perusahaanmu. Karena My Digi Learn merupakan Center of Knowledge Management yang mengintegrasikan berbagai sumber-sumber knowledge dari internal maupun eksternal. Semua aktivitas knowledge management dapat tersimpan di My Digi Learn. Tak hanya itu, My Digi Learn bisa diakses kapan saja dan di mana saja, langsung dari gadget pribadi kamu. Yuk, rasakan pengalaman berbagi knowledge bersama My Digi Learn. Akses My Digi Learn ID sekarang.
To stay gorgeous pakai Makeover Power Stay. Makeover Power Stay Cover Cushion. Wajah fresh. Makeover Power Stay Brow Mascara. Alis keren. Makeover Power Stay Transfer Proof Lip Cream. Bibir mask proof. Pasti stay gorgeous pakai Makeover Power Stay. Makeover.
Pop in your colorful imagination. With Amina Best Color. 12 hours spread love. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Baru Amina Pop and Matte. Warna serunya ringan dipakai dan tahan lama. Always pop, never flop. My beauty bestie.
Okay, good morning everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to International Coaching Summit 2021. This event is organized by the ICF Jakarta chapter. How are you doing all? Okay, looks good, yeah. Okay, our big themes of this ICS 2021 is Coaching Works, empowering the world through coaching. Through this International Coaching Summit 2021 event, we want to build an ecosystem for all stakeholders through 4 streamlines. The first one is building coaching business and coach as professions, building competencies in coaching, building coaching culture, build wholeness in life through coaching. We would like to also thank our partners who support these events. Of course, our sponsor, Paragon Technology and Innovation, ITDRI, Indonesia Telecommunication Digital Research Institute, Hijrah Coach, Loop Institute of Coaching, Engage Rocket, Marley Coaching School, Coaching Mentoring Institute, and also our media partners and community partners. This international event is held from October 28 to November 28. There are a total of 28 sessions by presenting 45 international speakers. Before starting today's session, let me introduce myself. My name is Maria Kiptia, ACC, as your moderator of today's session. In this session, we would like to remind you all that during the session, please keep the camera turned on. May I see your gorgeous faces here? Okay. And then the mic. Please mic on mute basis. However, this is also an so please, you can do it like mute and unmute, of course. And if you have any questions or statement, please kindly write it down first in the chat room and notify us, so we still keep the learning environment is better. So today's topic is Coaching Lab, Living ICF Core Competencies. Familiarization on updated ICF core competencies and use them as reflective coaching tools. With our international speaker today is Mr. Rudy Efendy, PCC. Hello, Pak Rudy, you're here already.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's a very bright and sunny Saturday.
Yes, indeed, Pak. So let me inform a brief biography of Pak Rudy, if you let me, Pak Rudy. He's an ICF PCC, ICF mentor coach, registered NLP licensed trainer, the Society of NLP Richard Bandler, psychometric assessment practitioner like Hogan, MBTI, and CPI 260, and point of view expert level. Wow, luar biasa ya. So without further ado, I think we have to welcome our speaker of today, Mr. Rudy Efendy. Please give him big round of applause, everyone. Yay! Okay, please, Pak.
Yeah, thank you, Mbak Maria. Thank you, everyone. Very good morning. Thank you, fellow coaches, speakers, leaders, and all participants. And I think that we have so many coaches, senior coaches that I've known. Pak Heru, welcome. Pak Aditya, and some of you. So today we are going to talk about ICF core competencies, but the point is that I'm going to present it from a coaching lab perspective. Let me share my slides. Just deep dive into it, because we don't have much time today as well. So as what Marie has mentioned also before, that today's topic actually is a coaching lab. It's we talk about ICF core competencies as a reflective coaching principle, guidance, or tools. And this is my profile. Maria just now. Okay, now for today's session, I feel very glad to give 2 copies, Mbak Maria, to the participants who are lucky today. Okay, so this is the printed version for my book, A Leader as Coach. It was like published, I think 3 or 4 years back. Okay. Now, as the topic today, as mentioned earlier, that it was a coaching lab. I'd like to ask all of you, what actually comes into your mind when we talk about lab? Could you please type in the chat? Perhaps, what is your opinion on telling some experiment, testing? Yes, you got it. So lab actually is the acronym or the short form of laboratory, as you know, right? So what I'm expecting all of us today, so it kind of like partnering together as a group. Yeah. This is the space that we provide safety and trust, whereby as a group, we can learn, unlearn, and relearn. I noticed that maybe some of you are already quite familiar or have heard of ICF Core Competencies. We also have PCCs here. We also have MCCs here. We also have ACCs. I think that most of you have been very familiar with that. So it's kind of refreshment, and we learn together and we experiment. Do you agree with that? I believe that you agree with that, right? So before we start, as this is a lab, a coaching lab. I'd like to have an agreement on how actually we should conduct our 45, 50 minutes ahead, what actually the behaviors that we should demonstrate as a group here. Can you please type into the chat? We call it design the alliance. So what kind of agreement that we need to demonstrate with one another for this lab? Anyone? Open mind, openness. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone else? Respect, right? Trust. Okay. Fun. Thank you, Paditya. Respect. Okay. And the list can goes on. So I'd like to remind of you that this is the co-learning space for all of us. So respect, trust, holding the space for one another. Really appreciate that. Okay. Non-judgmental, non-labeling, right? Because later on, I think that we are going to give you opportunity as well for a diet or try it in a breakout room. So you actually can practice the competencies. All right. Now, I would like to start my presentation today, the lab today, with the brief history of the ICF. So ICF previously was named the International Coaching Federation, and then they changed the name, becoming International Coach Federation. And they developed the ICF Core Competencies in 1998. Well, and I just want to know, I'm just curious, how many of you are familiar with ICF competencies? Can you just type yes or no in the chat room? So I kind of like, yes. Okay. Right. Good. Okay, I just get some respondents. I think that, I don't know if can represent. Yes, I learned from Pak Rudy Efendy. Thank you, Pak Julie. Okay, so we are going to refresh. That's why I'm not going to go through one by one again. The ICF competencies much more on the practice and experimenting side. Yeah. So ICF set the foundation for the coaching standards for excellence, of course, and continues to promote the professionalism of the coaching profession. I think that many of you know that ICF just announced that they have reached 40,000 ICF credentials just now. So congratulations for all of you who has attained ACC, PCC, and MCC. And if we go through the ICF core competencies history, so it's not like something created or made overnight. So it started from 2017 until 2019. They kind of like did 2-year job analysis research for that. So it's quite a job, yeah, quite a job. And they also invited around 1,300 coaches around the group participating on this before they came up with the. We used to know that ICF launched 11 core competencies and now becoming 8. The sing one is much more simpler one. And after that, they identified that the ICF identified that there's a necessary revisions to the ICF core competencies. 2019, they updated the ICF core competencies as what you are learning currently, maybe from coaching school, or you have been updated from other coaches as well. And December 2020, team coaching was also introduced by ICF. So besides the updated ICF core competency, which is much more individual, one-on-one, we currently also have the team coaching competency. What we are discussing this morning is only the individual one, the updated individual. We're not going to cover the team coaching. So what is coaching? I think this is something that we live with, we have heard so many times. ICF defines coaching as partner with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspire them to maximize their personal and professional potential. So you have the word thought-provoking here, and you have the word creative here. So, and inspiration to maximize the personal and professional potential. And what actually happens during coaching session? This is what I'm saying. Maybe some of you have other perspective as well. This is starts with when you do like one-on-one as a club coach sits in front of you as a coach. Usually before the coaching sessions start, you kind of like grounding, clearing the process for the coach and the coachee to get into the coaching process, coaching conversations. And once you in the conversation, it all starts with the sense of visual, auditory, kinesthetic. And then it goes down below through the thought-provoking and creative process. So the deep insight from the client is actually the values, the belief system, the perspective, which actually in neuro-linguistic programming, we call it internal map. And I think that ICF calls that in their narrations of the ICF competencies like worldview, world system. Yeah, that's the same way. The other people call it mental model. Yeah, so it's quite similar with one another. So the mental model, actually the mental processing is more or less is like this during the coaching sessions. So the provoking and the new awareness side actually arises by the time when the client gets the aha moment or gets the new awareness through the creative and thought-provoking questioning, technique, or silence. Yeah, it's very interesting that the new updated mode the competencies, yeah, that is and maintains presence and also in evoking awareness, competency number 7. And when the client and the coachee has new awareness, then the client respond to the new awareness, and then it comes into the action the client or the coachee would like to take. Now that is the model, usually what is, and the mental processing, usually what is happened during the coaching sessions. Yeah. And to support this, of course, we need some skills set. We need some guidance how to do this. So that's where the competency kicks in. While people can say that, well, this can, this can be done, the mental processing, this technique that deep inside, exploring very deep inside of the client or the coachee can be done in a very wide horizon or spectrum. But of course, ICS as a foundation, they have their own ways or skills that they would like to impose on the coaches that would like to do the coaching conversations or coaching sessions. So that's why the ICF comes with the competencies. So when we talk about competencies, it means that skill set, the knowledge, the skills that will help the clients to kind of evoking awareness. Yeah, right. Well, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you have anything to add, just put into the chat. Yeah, but Maria is there to accompany you. All right. Now, I would like to quote one saying from Mary Jo Putner, saying that competence is a great creator of confidence. So, when you do your profession as a coach. But the good thing, what actually Dave Ulrich say, that competencies can be communicated and therefore can be taught and learned. That's why that you are learning that from coach training schools. You're also learning from your peer coaching together. Now this is today what we are doing. Actually, we are also learning, co-learning this. So ongoing learning is one of the competencies in ICF. It's on the embodies a coaching mindset. All right. Now, as I said earlier, what actually the purpose of the ICF core competencies? More to develop, to support great understanding about the skills and approaches used within today's coaching professions as defined by ICF. Now, I just want to highlight a bit that for this morning session, I'm not going to cover the distinction between ACC, PCC, and MCC. Of course, in the core competencies, the 8 competency, you have the distinction when you apply for ACC, when you apply for PCC, when you apply for MCC. There's a distinction on that. In fact, actually, I'm also currently attending the PCC assessment marker for accessing the PCC assessment, but just narrow it down. We are not going to cover about that. It will be another separate discussion when we talk about the distinction. So we are more seeing from a general perspective on how actually that we demonstrate the ICF core competencies. Okay. Now, as you see that I mentioned earlier that on the left-hand side, I kind of like, this is the flyer from the ICF, kind of like touch it here. So you kind of have like a glimpse or brief perspective what actually it looks like for those who are not familiar with this. So it used to be 11 competencies, and now it is shortened to 8 competencies. So if you see the cluster, this is what we call the cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they actually maintain the same cluster. Is it clear, Maria? You can see that, although it's quite small.
Yeah, it's a bit small, Pak.
Okay, all right.
Sure
Just a brief one, yeah. Okay, so from 11 2019. Anyone wants to ask anything? But Maria, I see that there's a chat.
Okay, I think this is only a gentle reminder, Pak, for how we can run this event smoothly. So sure, please go ahead, but maybe I can remind all of you, if you have any question or statement, please write it down first, and later on we can address it one by one, ya, Pak, ya. Okay, please continue, Pak.
That they are very familiar with this already, so no questions, Pak. All right, so if we see the ICF competency is picture, this kind of metaphor, so because I like so much metaphor, so when I coach, usually I also use metaphor a lot. So I put a picture of a being, a man here actually, and we put the competencies in this picture. Now, it's very interesting that the only one competency that does not exist in previous competency is competency number 2, which is coaching mindset. And this is very interesting. I see that so many coaches actually take this as their discussions, as their sharing, because I believe all of you agree that when I say this competencies is more on like the guiding principle or the system that we need to embrace as a coach. Well, actually, 1 and 2, yeah, demonstrate ethical practice and also coaching embodies a coaching mindset. So this is what we call the being part. The ICF clearly states that these 2 are the guiding principles for all of us, whether that you are ACC, whether you're PCC, whether you are MCC, or you are someone actually who is still learning the core competencies, you are still attending the coach certification program from the coaching school, you have to embrace these competencies. Now, the number 3 through number 8 competency is more on the doing part. So we have demonstrate ethical practice. It's ICF talks. I'll go through a bit on this. So ICF talk about a lot on this ethical practice, how actually we have to behave as a coach, how actually that we have to be fair as a profession, and also to our clients and our community, our society. So there are like 5 parts, and it ends with a pledge as a ICF professional. And the second one, of course, is about the coaching mindset. So what actually that the mindset that we need to have as a coach? Like some of them is like you respect, you values the client as who he is. You don't judge, you don't label. and then you stay in, you manage your emotions during the coaching sessions, and also that you need to be there with your clients. So those are the mindset that we need to be in that. And ongoing learning, that's the most important. That's why we keep learning as coaches. We never stop learning as coaches. Yeah. So whether that you are ACC, PCC, or MCC, that you still have to keep learning. And number 3 is establishes, maintains agreement. So it starts with how actually you contract this. Maybe I'll show a bit on the breakdown. I cover about one and 2 already. So there are, you have this core, you have this cluster. It's 4 clusters in the core competencies, and then you have the core competency, we call it major competency, and then you have the definition usually, and then you have the sub competency, or some people call it guidelines. Yeah, so you actually have the guidelines that how are you going to demonstrate this these core competencies. As you see that number 1, number 2, number 1 has 7 guidelines. And 4, so 1.4 talks about abides by the ICF Code of Ethics and upholds the core values. And I am not sure if many of you are familiar that ICF has just revised their core values recently, just like a couple of days ago. Is that right, Paditya? Okay, right. So demonstrate ethical practice. You can see that they have 7. And then the second core competency is number 2 is embodies a coaching mindset. Acknowledges clients are responsible for their own choices, this kind of thing. And now we go through number 3. Let us see for a while, this embodies coaching mindset number 2, yeah? So it's quite interesting. I repeat again that this competency exists only in this updated model. Yeah, we really have to take care of, especially competency number 6, 7, and number 1. Yeah, acknowledges that clients are responsible for their own choices. Sometimes as coaches that we kind of like, yeah, why do you say this? Why actually you come up with this? I would like to, you have to this. That is not right. That is wrong. This should be right. Now we have to be aware that when we coach, we also serve our client. We don't serve ourselves. Yeah, so the client agenda is the most important thing in coaching session. Now, when it comes to establish maintenance agreement, that's a lot of guidelines. We can see that ICF rolls out 11 guidelines on this. So you need to start with actually what explains what coaching is and what is not coaching. And usually I briefly summarize this into 3 parts. The first part is the contract or the written agreement. Now, before the written agreement, of course, that you need to meet the client. In case you have a sponsored coaching, you have to see the sponsors, the relevant parties as well, like the HR, the line managers, on what actually the purpose of these coaching sessions. Yeah. That is the one part, is the contract or written agreement. So you have this written agreement. ICF says that there is no coaching session if there is no contract. Right? I think that most of you or many of you are familiar with that already. And the second one is what we call the overall coaching agreement, or sometimes we call it design the alliance, how actually that you are going to design a coaching agreement for your coaching. And the third one is, of course, the coaching topic itself. So coaching topic actually is also part of the agreement. So you need to have a topic for a coaching session. You need to have a goal for a coaching session. So coaching is not curhat. Yeah? Some people think that coaching is so curhat. Yeah. So coaching is not. Coaching is much more deeper than even meaningful conversation. So those are the 3 parts of the establish and maintain agreement. The difference between the previous ICF core competency is that if you look at that carefully, ICF only mentioned establishes agreements, that's all. But then in the new updated model, they include maintain. So you need to maintain time to time the agreement. whether that is a contract, whether that in the context of design the alliance or the overall coaching agreement, or whether that actually it's in the coaching, individual coaching itself. Now, how do you do that? Can I ask questions? How do you maintain agreement in a single coaching session? Any opinion?
Okay, Bapak Ibu, silakan. If you have any input on this, please write it down, or you can also unmute ya, Bapak ya. If you want to answer it directly, it's okay. What question?
How do you, when you have a coaching session, how do you maintain the agreement with the client? Because maintain is something new, emerging from this updated model. We don't find maintained in the previous model. Okay. Check and recheck, but Prasti, Thomas, that.
Check and recheck.
Yeah. How do you confirmation? Okay. Right. By creating DTA as commitment coaching, right? Midpoint check in the middle of the session. Very good, Pastor. Thank you very, very much. Okay. In other words, we do check in. So checking in is very important, fellow coaches, to maintain the agreement. So in some point of time, you need to regularly check in. Is actually the coaching agenda or the goal is still in the same coaching agenda or topic as the client or the coachee brought up from the brings up earlier beginning session. So yeah, confirmation, check in, yeah, right. Very good. I like that word, check in the middle of the session. So in fact, when you apply for PCC and MCC, actually that they need to hear that you do the more check-in or not. Is that right, Pak Heru? I'm asking my guru here. Okay. All right. Now, number 4, we talk about trust and safety. So for trust and safety itself, we have 6 elements or 6 guidelines or 6 sub-competency on that. So seek to understand the client in the context with which may include their identity, environment, that's part of respect, yeah? And we also seek to understand and demonstrate respect for the client's identity perceptions as well, acknowledges and respect. So trust, how can you feel you can trust your coach? How do you want to be trusted? Can you maybe put into the chat room? What do you think that the factors or the behaviors that the coach has to demonstrate in order to get trust and to make the clients feel safety during coaching conversations? When we talk freely to each other. Thank you banget, Bu Meta. Right, that's very right. Anyone else? No judgment, confidentiality, agree with that. Yeah. So one of the things when you mention about confidentiality, this is Pak Carmen, yeah. Hopefully I don't address it wrongly. So when you mention about confidentiality, something comes up into my mind. It's quite challenging when you coach clients in a very noisy or busy places like coffee shops, restaurants. Yeah, because the trust, the safety especially might not be there because people are, are just going back and forth and that. And maybe that there'll be some people sitting there around that the clients or the coach may know. So that's why it's very good practice if we can have a very isolated or secluded room for the coaching sessions, like private meeting room, yeah, to also create the safety for the clients to talk. Yeah. Okay, and the next one is maintains presence. How do you maintain presence, fellow coaches? Or maybe my question is like this: what actually will distract you from maintaining presence? be happy. Okay, what else? What are the situations or conditions that may distract you from maintaining full presence with your client? Focus on coaching. Yeah, our own agenda. Pak Prima, can you explain more on that? Is it okay for you to unmute and explain a bit?
Silakan Pak, if you have, if you're able to answer that in person by unmuting Pak Prima ya.
Pak Prima?
Pak
You
Prima?
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe he's not available. I'd like to ask Pak Carmen Gomez here. Are you there also?
Pak Prima unmute ya. Maybe.
Okay. Oh, Pak Prima cannot unmute. Sorry. Okay. Host, can you please unmute?
Okay, I get it now.
Okay, thank you, Pak. Would you like to share?
Yes, it's sometimes when, especially when I experience when we are not ready for coaching, and then like we have an agenda that's usually in the performance, that's something that I have to finish my coaching session, that he has to fulfill about the goal that he has to reach. So that distracts the coaching session, Rudy,
Okay.
in the context of performance, ya, Pak, ya.
All right. So how do you deal with that, Pak?
Yeah, back against actually to be aware of myself, aware of myself against, and back to the coaching mindset to maintain my presence against. That's what I do, Pak.
Okay. Do you do some maybe technique, or you just self-managed?
I'm always asking myself, what are my feelings about? Checking about my feeling as well. What are my feelings? Am I really ready to coach for this person's situation? Yeah,
Wow.
sometimes, yeah. So that's kind of how we create the checking again with myself awareness.
Right.
Yes.
That's very good demonstration of embodies a coaching mindset, Pak Prima. A big applause for Pak Prima, please, everyone.
Thank you, Pak.
Yeah, that's actually part of the embodies a coaching mindset. I'd like to go to Pak Carmen Gomez. Are you available, Pak, to talk?
Pak Prima, Pak Carmen, are you there? Oh, cannot unmute as well. Pak, Mas Adit mungkin boleh dibantu unmute Pak Carmen.
Hi, I'm actually.
Ibu, mohon maaf.
I'm so
sorry.
sorry.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry. Yeah.
No worries. Yes, your question is?
I'd like to elaborate on when you say that one of the distractions, or sometimes we call it saboteur,
Yes.
that a coach faced is thinking about what questions to ask. Could you please elaborate more on this so we can all hear on this?
Yes, so being a coach, we want to do our best for our clients. And normally when we're listening to them, there are so many things coming into the plate on the table. And we're kind of like busy thinking about, okay, how can I get the best out of this session? And how can I help the client to actually move forward? And in the end, it's like what the other coach said earlier was, we are so busy thinking about how to do our best that sabotages us in the busy thinking about how to do our best, what to ask next, what's the most powerful question we can get. That kind of things could sabotage us.
All right, agree on that. Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry for addressing incorrectly.
No worries.
Okay, Thank you so much. Anything you want to add on what you said? Anything more for Carmen?
If you're talking about maintaining presence, then I'd say it would be to really be there for the client, to really listen and just observe and give them space to actually speak and share and not interrupt too often.
Yeah.
Just being there, sitting there, listening to them, looking at them, and highlighting, making them aware about what they said. So more reflective way of approach.
That's very good. That's very good elaboration. Thank you so much. Very, very well said. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so because Carmen mentioned about questions, actually questions are covered. The questioning is covered in competency number 7, which is evoking awareness. But I just want to give inquiry to all of you to just reflect and ponder. That's a very good questions from one of my MCC mentors. It kind of, when you want to ask questions, you need to self-reflect and ask yourself, what is the intention of your question? So is this questions is more for you or is it for the client? So I think that you can reflect when you ask questions. Is this informative questions? Is it questions that clients know already? Or is it the questions that for the purpose of serving the client in getting new awareness? So that's why I ask that you need to ask yourself when you ask questions, what's the intention of your question? Yeah. And I totally agree with what Carmen has said just now. That's why if you see in competency number 5, ICF creates or allows space for silent pause or reflection. So there is a word create here. So you intentionally, as a coach, you create silence, pause on reflections during the coaching sessions, or allow that to be happening. So we are not like asking set of questions for the coaches at the same time, of course. And sometimes we might create just for the client to reflect what happens in the moment or in this moment. Yeah, so it's very beautiful. This maintaining presence. If I'm not mistaken, maybe some fellow coaches can correct me if I'm wrong. This sub-competence number 6 is not shown or is not seen in previous competency. Okay. Pak Heru just said boo. Sorry for that. Okay. Right. Now, Bu Farah, I just want to call upon you as well. You said emotional distractions like being sad, angry, sick can actually distract you from maintaining presence. Would you elaborate a bit on this, if you don't mind?
Okay. Suppose like suddenly there's some changes in my emotion. Sometimes I getting angry, sad. So usually I'm doing some short meditation, Pak Rudy. For example, just take a long and deep breath.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm doing some grounded technique.
Yeah.
Like I usually touching my my finger strongly and very fast. So it is very help me to put my concentration directly on the coaches.
Right. So that is what we call anchoring, actually.
Yeah, I'm doing the anchoring, and sometimes I'm doing also the metaphor, Pak Rudy. I have my own metaphor to keep my presence to the session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bu Farah, for sharing that with all the fellow coaches. So everyone has its own technique. Everyone has its, we call it self-management. How do you self-manage yourself? Yeah. All right, let's go through. We don't have much time as well. So we go to number 6 and 7. I think all of you agree that listening is the most critical part in coaching. Yeah, and I think all of us put very much big focus on this when we learn how to coach. So I'm not going to go through one by one. We don't have much time also on this. So listening, we need to listen on what is spoken, what is not spoken, what actually how do you listen intuitively, what actually the intuition telling you and you're sharing with the client. That's part of the listening as well. And then how actually the client says the thing and what he or she is saying that thing. Of course, we have to maintain our present. So it's kind of like interconnected, these competencies. If you don't focus, if you don't maintain your presence, how can you listen actively to the client to see what actually is happening with the mimic, the gestures, and the tone? And number 7 is evoking awareness. We know that this particular competency consists of 3 competencies from the previous one. It's direct communication, creating awareness, and powerful questioning. Now, once ICF has been asked, why is that powerful questioning was omitted from the competency? We understand that in the previous competency, we have powerful questioning as a standalone competency itself, part of one of the 11 competencies in previous competency by the ICF. But for the updated model, they just dilute that and then they make it become one under the evoking awareness. Now, the answer from the ICF is that in order for evoking awareness from the coachee is not only by questioning. So there is a lot of factors kick in, a lot of factors, techniques, tools that you can use actually to evoking the awareness. Part of them actually is powerful questioning, of course. That's why in the definition, you also see the word like metaphor, analogy, things like that, to tools, technique, to really create the awareness, not create, to co-partner with the client for creating the awareness from the client. All right, and now we go to the last one. Now I like to stay here for a while for evoking awareness. If I can ask you, my fellow coaches, leaders, and participants, what is the most challenging part when we talk about demonstrating evoking awareness? Would you please share in the chat room? What is the most challenging part for you from these 11 guidelines? Anyone?
Okay, silakan, Bapak Ibu. Ladies and gentlemen, you can write it down or you can unmute directly if you want to answer directly. Okay, Pak Asep, thank you very much.
Facts and reflected, right? Very good, Pak Asep. Pak Asep, will you share about that? I'd like to hear your voice back, if you don't mind. But Bu Maria, can you unmute?
Yes, Pak Asep.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Rudy. Interesting topic. Connecting fact and reflective. That sometimes when we are talking about evoking awareness, we sometimes miss some facts that the client state either at the beginning or in the middle of the session. So when we are talking about evoking awareness, actually there is interrelated between one fact and another fact. And the best way that I experienced many times is that reflecting question, which at the end, the coachee aware what they have already said at the beginning and after that what they have said. So interrelated. That's actually the challenging part, which actually not really easy to connect because of the focus is on the client. Thank you, Baru.
So it's kind of like overwhelming facts at the same time, like you're hearing a lot of things happening, going around. And as a coach, what I'm saying is that how actually you integrate and summarize that together and bring back that to the client. Is that what you're saying, Pastor?
Yes, connecting the dot and reflecting what they have said in order for her or him understand what they have said.
Yeah, very well said. So actually how these facts, how actually this information that I've heard from you, Mr. or Mrs. Coachy or client, that you want to reflect on that. What do you say about that? Yeah. Okay, all right, that's very good. One more from Mbak Prasti Utomo. It's a long time back, I don't hear from you. Hopefully you are doing well. Can you please unmute Mbak Maria for Prasti?
Silakan Mbak Prasti. Sudah? Suaranya masih belum? Ya.
Hello, can you hear? Okay, thank you for greeting. You are so awesome, Pak Rudy. Yeah, for me, evoking awareness is holding me. Just let the coachee find it out themselves, rather than me telling them what it is. That's the most challenging part.
Yeah. So it's kind of like there is a temptation to tell the client and coachee.
Actually, yes, if I try to not to do that. However, there is, there is temptation, a big temptation to aduh, itu udah deket.
Ya, udah deket ya. Ini loh. Yeah, very well said.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prasti. Very nice, very glad to see you again. It's been a long time, since this PPKM we don't talk and we don't see each other in offline forum. Okay, so thank you so much for all of you who have shared your opinion on this. Appreciate so much. As I said, that is a coaching lab for all of us. We are learning actually between one another. And the last one, it's facilitates client growth. This is also kind of like 2 or 3 competencies, if not mistaken, combining into one. So facilitate client growth is actually, now this is the time that you need to know that whatever choices the client choose, it's the client choice. Yeah, you cannot say that, oh, this is not right, unless they want to commit suicide, they want to commit illegal activities that is forbidden, or maybe activities that will harm people. Yeah, but whatever, because sometimes yeah, so it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of your map, how actually your map see that. So facilitates client and growth, as ICF declares here, is that it comprises of the action planning, how you integrate that new awareness into actions, and how you partner with the client from time to time during the coaching session. And number 3, acknowledge and support client autonomy to do that. Client autonomy, client full decision on doing that. And also that we are aware that sometimes the topic and the goal can change in the middle of the session. We have to be aware on that as well. It's totally changed from the first time when we talk about and we agree on earlier in the session. It can change in the middle when we have a coaching conversations. So I think that's all. So sorry, I cannot go through one by one because of the time constraint as well. Now let's go to the coaching lab and let's practice. Now, before I ask all of you fellow participants, coaches, to practice that, I quote one saying from Confucius. I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. Yeah, that is come the practice part. Now, before I go to that practice for all of you, I'd like to do a demo, a very short demo on one of the competency that we talk about. Now, I choose competency number 3 because that is the beginning of the coaching conversation, because before we enter in the coaching conversation itself. Now, for that purpose, I'd like to ask who wants to volunteer as a coach or client here. So we kind of like have 10 minutes to do that. We don't have much time also to do the entire coaching session, of course, kind of like demonstrate the establishing and maintain. Maybe the maintain part will not be a big portion on that throughout the time. Maybe the establishing and a little bit on maintaining only agreement. Who wants to be with me this morning?
Okay, please, Bapak Ibu, if you have, you are interested to become coached by Coach Rudy, as a demo today, and we also have a present for you, right, Pak Rudy? We're going to give you one book, Leader as Coach, written by Pak Rudy. So please, okay, ada Putu Hartana Wijaya, silakan Kak Putu.
Pak Putu.
Go ahead, Mbak Putu ya. Okay, silakan.
This is Pak. It's not Bu anymore.
Pak ya. Because I cannot see all the faces here, so I apologize if I mention it incorrectly. So silakan.
That's why Pak Maria, in our culture, it's very sensitive about the address form of Bapak, Ibu, Mbak, Om, Tante, So sometimes we call it wrongly, and it's quite sensitive for some people. Okay,
silakan Pak Putu, mohon maaf tadi salah address. Silakan lanjut.
Tidak apa-apa karena saya juga pernah dipanggil Ibu.
Okay, alright. Ya, kita relax saja Pak ya. Saturday morning, so we don't have to be very serious. Okay, for this purpose, Bapak Ibu, I'd like us to ask your kind favor to please turn off the video and mute, please. So what I can see is only Pak Putu, if you don't mind. Okay, where is Pak Putu? Yeah, okay, Pak Putu, I pin you, yeah. Right.
Thank you, Pak Rudy. Sudah.
Good morning, Pak. How are you today?
I'm great, Pak. Thank you.
Okay, what's amazing for you lately?
So actually, I'm very grateful today because I have to run from Nusa Dua Beach to go to my office to attend your class. So I missed almost 15 minutes.
Glad to have you. And thanks for being here and volunteer to become the 10-minute client with me this morning.
Thank you. That I'm also glad to be part of your coaching exercise.
So how are you feeling right now?
I feel great. So I feel happy that able to be part of this demo exercise.
Okay. Well, I think that you are okay if we don't explore the full version of your topic or goal because of the constraint of the time. Are you okay with that? Maybe we just have 10 minutes on the contracting part.
It's fine for me. Thank you.
All right. Okay. And how do you want to get yourself ready?
Can I take 1 second to deep breath?
Sure.
Well, Pak Rudy, I'm ready for it.
All right. I'm just curious, Pak, how do you need me to show up in this coaching session for you?
Actually, I need something to have the clarity in my days to days. Because right now I don't have any job, so I just start the coaching activities. So I think it's a great, even 10 minutes, I think I will have something to explore from your coaching session.
Okay. So what's been occupying in your mind right now that you want to work on?
Right now, I have the doubted about, because right now I am doing the starting the coaching exercise, and also I love to be as the lecturer in the university. So how to equip myself for two things, the current situation.
All right. How to equip yourself? Can you repeat once more time? How could you?
Thank you. Right now, I'm just start as the coach
Okay.
Right, because since last year I just resigned from my full-time job in the hotel industry, so I start my new life as a professional coach. And in the middle of the journey, also have to fulfill my daily life, right? So that's why I apply also as a lecturer in the university. So how do I equip myself as the professional coach and also as lecturer in the university?
So you want to work on how actually that you work yourself as a professional coach and at the same time as a lecturer in the university.
That's right.
And what is it that you are looking at after this 10-minute session?
Actually, I want to have the confidence how to be myself to run two different things in this current situation.
Okay. Tell me more on that.
Yes, thank you. So, as I have decided to become as a professional coach, and then I try also to find the client, I mean the paying client, because right now more to pro bono client, because I have to explore my ability as a coach and also have to have the more time how to equip the competency from the ICF. And that's why I use the pro bono to more exercise. And also I do the as the facilitator for the student. So that's why now how to ensure that I have the capability as the professional coach. So when there is a paying client, so I am the right person that able to help the client in the professional way based on the competencies from the ICF. That's always I keep trying, I keep practicing to ensure that I have the ability to accompany the paying client in the future, because that's why I keep practicing to the pro bono and also to apply my coaching's knowledge and skill to my daily life as well. So every time I meet people, I try to embrace the coaching's knowledge and skill to other people that I met in daily life.
Okay. So I'm kind of like hearing a couple of things here. Just want to summarize for you and let you tell me if I take it wrong. So from this coaching session, actually you want to take, you want to see if you have an insight on how to actually equip yourself to become a better professional coach and lecturer. Is that what you are saying?
Right.
Okay. And how do you know that you have this after this coaching session?
I have some insight that I can apply on the daily life, because when I meet the people, I try to be as a friend. I mean, when I coach people, I try to be a friend, to listen, to understand, and no judging, no assume, and then I keep practicing. So once after 10 minutes, this one, I hope I can get something new. So when I'm meeting the people, there is something impact after the discussion or after the accompanying the people during the coaching session.
I can feel that there's an, you know, energy and lightfulness, and you're smiling when you say that.
Yes.
Actually,
I'm the people person.
And what's important for you to achieve that goal?
Because I love to see the people when I meet people to accompanying the during coaching session. There is an impact, even small thing. There's an impact for them. So meaning, I feel that I have the opportunity to accompany the people that is an impact. So meaning from that kind of the situation, they will keep going the coaching session with me, and then also there is the referral from them. So this will be good for me for the future, because right now I love to building as the professional coach.
Okay. So I heard you mention about that you want to have impact on people as well.
Yes.
And what does that need to happen? What will need to happen in order to you to be on that place for creating the impact?
Because my goal is I want to help people to be better from now for the future.
Yeah.
Because my background is human resources. So I want to apply after completed working in the hotel industry. I want to apply on my daily life, how to helping people. There's an impact, even small thing. So that's why I chose professional coach and my new journey to helping people.
Okay. So what's there for you already when you say that you want to create impact? What is already demonstrated from you so far?
Thank you. So at the moment, I help my friend son to accompany for 3 possession before entering the university. So they have a 3 session with me. So every session different topic, and then so every 3 weeks I meet again with another topics to ensure how the progress from the first action plan to the next action plan. So there is something that I feel proud of me as well. So to make sure that I able to have the energy, have to proud of me as well to ensure that what I do for something small, there's an impact that the people accompany during the coaching conversation.
Okay, I feel that that's very strong evoking from you. And what is the thing that you need to do more in order for creating more impact?
I am very sensing right now.
Sorry?
I'm very sensing right now. So when you asking that question, so
sorry, but our time is up. So
okay.
sorry. Sorry. Now, there is one thing that I would like to ask you, Pak Putih. Sorry for that. Yeah, you are in the middle of the exploration and then the time is up. Yeah. So
no
what
problem.
happened to you during the coaching session?
I feel that you give me the opportunity to exploring what in my mind. So, and also I feel relaxed. I don't even think before what I have to say to you. Just by the flow, based on your question, direct to me. So that's what I feel. I feel relaxed. I feel enjoy the conversation. So I don't feel that already 10 minutes.
Yeah, so too short. Yeah, and thank you so much. I really acknowledge you for that. Thank you for being authentic. Thank you for being present during the coaching conversations. Although it's a very short one. It's only 10 minutes, and I apologize that we don't finish this up. Thank you, Pak Putu.
Thank you, Pak Rudy, for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, for the book, you can. But Mary, how actually that we have to arrange for giving the book?
I will chat Pak Putu ya Pak.
Yes,
I will chat you for details. Okay, thank you very much. Can we give a round of applause for Pak Putu and also Pak Rudy for the demonstration? Yeah. So I would like to give it back to Pak Rudy for the time.
All right. So now, fellows, coaches, fellow leaders, participants, since I have demonstrated this in our coaching lab, now I need you to be on your turn now to practice this. So that's how we are going to do this. Let me show you. So we are going to break you up into breakout room of 3. Mas Pancha, are you there?
We have already arranged for this.
Yeah. Okay, all right. We have not started yet. So I would like all of you to choose one of the competencies. So fellow coaches, fellow leaders, and fellow participants, I really like you to experiment on the core competency without judging, labeling. We are learning, we are co-learning together. That's what we said earlier. So you choose one of the competency that you want to experiment during the breakout room session with your fellow client or coachee. Now, for the coach, we have this kind of questions for reflections, the inquiries. The first one is that for the coach, what can you experiment? What do you want to experiment? Which competency you want to experiment when you have triad. Yeah, we do it in a triad, 3 persons. Or if the numbers are odd, you might find yourself in like 2 or 4 people in the room. That's okay. And for the client, what have you experienced after that? For the observer, what have you learned? What can you add? So we kind of like have coach, coachee, and observer. I think that all of you were very familiar with this structure when we practice our coaching practice. So we have 3 persons. That one person will take a role as a coach. Second will be the client. The third one will be the observer. And we'll give 10 minutes for each. 10 minutes for each. Yeah, and feedback 5 minutes. So each will have feedback 5 minutes to make it together. That it's 45 minutes. Do we have more time, Maria? So maybe we can take some time of the Q&A session later. Yeah. So all right. Any questions before we break it into the breakout room? So the first one, we'll practice the coaching practice with the client, and then we do it alternately. We do it one at a time, and then we do it alternately together. So everyone will serve as a coach, everyone will serve as a client, and everyone will serve as an observer. This is a coaching lab, so let us practice. Okay, but Maria, you can break out the room now.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back, everyone.
Oke, selamat datang kembali kakak-kakak semua. Ya, so how was it? Masih bersemangat? Mana jempolnya? Kalau masih bersemangat semuanya? Okay, thank you very much. So, without further ado, because our time is very limited, I would hand it over to Pak Rudy. Please, Pak Rudy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think because of the time also, I'm just looking at the clock right now. It's already 5 minutes to 12. So I think that I just want to maybe ask 1 or 2 persons on actually, what did you experience? What is the takeaway for you from you? Anyone? Maybe 1 or 2 persons. So how's the session? What was your takeaway?
Okay, please go ahead.
Anyone?
Malu-malu nih sepertinya.
Bu Carmen, to share.
Bu Carmen, are you available?
Yeah. Have you unmuted, Bu Maria?
Yeah. Okay, maybe Bu Meta. Bu Meta.
Bu Carmen. Bu Meta. Okay, Bu Meta, silakan Bu Meta. Yeah.
Okay. Kameta, okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kak Maria. Thank you, Kak Rudy. For the first 20 minutes, we have an exercise of deep silence because 4 of the participants cannot. It's only layar. Semuanya tidak muncul gitu. Jadi untuk 20 menit pertama saya pakai bahasa Indonesia aja ya Pak Rudy ya.
Sure.
Oke, semoga semuanya bisa memahami bahasa Indonesia saya ya. Jadi 20 menit pertama itu kami semuanya mute. Jadi tidak ada partisipan. Jadi saya pikir ini adalah kita sedang bereksperimen tentang deep silence. Jadi selama 20 menit. Dan kemudian muncul salah satu Ibu Katrin, dan akhirnya kita berbicara. Dan Bu Katrin ini appreciate sekali karena Bu Katrin baru mengenal coaching dari ICS ini. Jadi dari program ICS ini barulah Bu Katrin mengenal tentang coaching, dan luar biasa sekali Bu Katrin memperoleh pelajaran banyak sekali. Nanti Bu Katrin mungkin bisa menambahkan sendiri. Nah, akhirnya kita membahas tentang apakah itu coaching sampai karena ingin memberi penjelasan lebih dulu tentang Bu Katrin apakah itu coaching, dan kemudian akhirnya muncul ke Uncle Tom, dan Uncle Tom akhirnya melakukan sesi coaching dengan Bu Katrin, tapi sayang sekali kita udah sangat mepet waktunya sehingga tidak bisa merep up sampai akhir gitu Kak.
Okay. Thank you. Ini ada two people are raising their hands. Pak Asep, silakan Pak Asep.
Do we still have time, Mbak Maria?
I think for one more, and then we go to the brief from Pak Rudy. Is that okay?
Yeah, just
short one.
Simple reflection that we only have a limited time. Yeah, only just 10 minutes. Yeah, Pak Rudy. My experiment actually, I brought up the facilitating client growth. So the process is flowing very well, but because of the time, I cannot explore more about the accountability and etc. So we are with Coach Adit as well as Coach Nuriman. So we realized that because of the time is very limited, so we cannot finish until facilitating client growth. But the coach is aware what he's going to do.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. So this book, should we announce right now who is going to?
Yeah. Okay. Boleh Pak. The first one is of course going to Pak Putu ya Pak ya, because he is involving in the demo, and the second one I think there are a lot of active participants here, but maybe we can give it to Bu Carmen. Okay, congratulations Bu Carmen.
Thank you so much, Pak Rudy.
And so then
for Putu and Bu Carmen, maybe you can give your address to Mbak Maria so we can send.
You can send chat directly to me. Okay, thank you very much. Pak Rudy, I think we have to answer one question. Actually, this is from a very young lady, and then maybe I can share it here. Hello, I'm Nur Rahman Abdullah, 21 years old. I want to ask you how and what should I do to become great coach and make other people trust me that I can be a professional. Wah, luar biasa ya, a very young generation nih Pak. Maybe in a short answer, Pak Rudy.
Yeah, is he still here?
I think so.
All right, Mas Nurul, thank you so much for the questions. I think for 21 years old guy, I think it's a very, very good questions, and it's a very good dream to become a professional coach. So if you want to be a great coach, I think that you need to start the coach training first, and you can go to any other school that actually provides the coach certification training from ICF. And when you have that training, I think that you automatically will become the journey. But what I'm trying to say is that coaching, it's not something like we can, the skills, the competency is not something that we can earn overnight. So it takes years, it takes time. Some of the PCC, MCC, they takes like 10, 15, 20 years even to attain your MCC. So it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of endurance, and it takes a lot of passion as well. So passion, patience, and endurance on going that journey. Yeah, I wish you good luck.
Okay, so thank you, and we're sorry that we are having a very limited time, so we cannot go into more question and answer, but it was a great session, don't you think, right, everybody? So what we have learned here is about the new ICF competency. Not only that, but we also exercising the coaching process itself. So what we are going through here is we learn, unlearn, and also relearn in this session, right? So thank you very much, Pak Rudy Efendy. Can we give him a big round of applause, and to all of you as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the very important session of the program, is photo session. So if you can all turn on your camera while waiting for you to turn it on, I would like to inform you all that please kindly fill in the feedback form by clicking the link that has been given to you in the chat room. We also need your information regarding your names and all for the CCE certificates. We also have exclusive ICS 2021 t-shirt. You can order it online through our website ics.coachingyou.com. Okay, so are you ready for the photo session? Let me see all of you here. Okay. Okay, while waiting, can you turn it on your camera? Okay, we're going to do 2 times. The first one is with a very big smile on our face. Okay. 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 This is very big smiles indeed. Okay. Take a look at the camera. There are 3 pages here, so bear with me. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One more thing. One more pages. Still big smile on your face. Okay. Okay. Only 2. Okay. The second pose is that the excitement faces around you. Okay, thank you very much, Bu Vera. You're very excited. Okay, okay, very excitement. Yeah, a lot of excitement in form. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. We also would like to inform you before we're closing the session, we would like to thank our sponsor, Paragon Technology Innovation, ITDRI, Indonesia Telecommunication Digital Research Institute, Hijrah Coach, Loop Institute of Coaching, Fanaya & Co, Coaching Indonesia, Engage Rocket, Marley Coaching School, Coaching Mentoring Institute, our media partner and community partners. And also, you can always in contact with ICF Jakarta chapter through Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube. Meanwhile, we also would like to inform you that we're going to have a very next session, Coaching Habits for Corporate and Beyond. Previous learning from deaf friends from another extraordinary speakers, Pak Joseph Bataona. And it will be delivered in Bahasa. So thank you again, Bapak Ibu semua, kakak-kakak. It's a pleasure, Pak Rudy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great Saturday.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, all.
Okay, bye-bye.
Looking forward to meet you in the next session. Yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to click on the feedback if you have still here. Okay, thank you so much.